of August 28th. If you're new here, I am Stormie Grace, professional astrologer, and in this particular live segment, I'm going to spend a little bit of time with you going through the cosmic landscape of what's coming up in this week. And the goal is to not only talk about it and let you know what's going on up there, but to do a little bit of translation and interpretation so that you can make the most of the energies that are around you, and also maybe make sense of some of the energies that you can't quite put your finger on, but you can feel that they are unfolding around you. So we are going to cover that in this particular video. Now, before we jump in, a little bit of housekeeping here. First of all, my new 2024 packages, my coaching packages, are up and for sale. Right now, it's 2 60-minute appointments and 2 30-minute check-in appointments. And the link will be in the description box down below. And it's also up on the website at stormiegrace.com. So after the live is done, make sure you check them because those are on sale right now until Stormie Grace's birthday, which will be October 14th. As always, my books are open, so if you're looking for a reading, you need help making sense of some things, I've definitely got you. So check it all out in the description box down below. As well, if you have not gotten signed up for the Astrological Association Conference, where you can go online or in person, it doesn't matter, that is coming up here in October as well, and it is going to be a lot of fun. So I hope to see you there. We get to have some fun with our European friends and do a lot of astrology learning. All right. Last piece of information, I swear, and then we're going to get in there. I'm really excited to share with you guys that today, officially, which is maybe your middle of the day, it's almost my bedtime here, I officially have my house in Spain. So there it is. We've got the keys. It's super exciting. So now that everything is done, you guys can start to watch. The content will begin to present itself about what was the decision to move to Spain, what was the astrology about the decision to move to Spain, and also I will lay out for you the process that I took step by step, including the legal side on how we made our transition here to Spain. So watch for all of that coming up as well. All right, beautiful friends, into the week we go, where this week we've actually got 2 really significant events happening astrologically, but they really have the same kind of flair in terms of bringing your attention to what's really going on and where you need to reconnect internally with things that have been happening externally. So those 2 things are that we're going to have Uranus taking its retrograde in the energy of Taurus, and we have also got the full moon happening in Pisces as well. So both of these things are kind of bringing us back to energies that we have seen previously. But first and foremost, let's jump in here and see what is going on Monday. Now, we do have the moon traveling through the energy of Capricorn as you're traveling Monday morning. And so still in the energy of Capricorn, you're still grounded. We're coming into the week. The energy is pretty steady. Now, as we're going through, we're going to hit that void of course energy. And so that is a time to just rest and retreat a bit. Rest and retreat, rest and retreat. Because from about 7:40 in the morning, this is Eastern time, is when you're going to start to feel that void of course energy that's like slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down. And then we get to 10 a.m. and you're going to see the moon now move into the energy of Aquarius. Okay, as the moon is traveling through the energy of Aquarius, this is our once a month opportunity to do a check-in on, first of all, where do you need to do some of your own out of the box thinking. It's also a great time, just on a very practical level, to do things like check in with friends, friendship groups. Look at if there's, is there a place where you've become particularly detached, and so it's just a thing happening over here, but you're not actually engaging in it. This is also a good thing to check in on that, because you could be doing something on autopilot that is burning up your energy quite foolishly, and you don't need that. So you want to innovate, you want to update and upgrade and take that out of your energetic bubble so that you have all of the energy to focus on what's coming next for you in the week. And that is that we have got later in the day Uranus stepping into its retrograde. Okay, so we've got the moon traveling through this Aquarian vibration. And then one of its ruling planets, Saturn, is already retrograde. So we've got the review of the authority of things happening. And then we've got the other planet, Uranus, coming retrograde as well. So now On your insides, this is one thing I want to calibrate your energy to, is that on your insides, you may kind of have this feeling like, wait a minute, I thought I was, stepping forward into something, and now you're like, whoa, hold on. How come I feel like I'm not moving? How come even inside I feel like I'm not progressing towards a goal, towards a direction, something that I wanted to do? Again, from an emotional standpoint, check. Do you need to upgrade? Do you need to review something? What is in the way of you moving forward from the inside out? This is a great time to review that. Now, the other thing to keep in mind is that Uranus is an outer planet. So sometimes why these situations that feel like I can't possibly move forward feel so challenging is because the outer planets also govern our communities, our world, our people around us. So literally something could have been on pause, on hold. Trying to get anything done in Spain right now has been absolutely crazy because in August, Spain basically shuts down so people can leave for vacation, which is an absolutely beautiful thing. But it can be like that it's not necessarily that you've done anything except for have this idea, vision, expectation, whatever you want to call it, and it's been unreasonable to have it happening. So you want to, again, double check, upgrade, update what that is. So another thing that I wanted to just explore a little bit about this Uranus retrograde is the fact that when Uranus goes retrograde, one of the challenges I think of it is that it does call us back in, right? If you have Uranus direct in your natal chart, you're getting the call back in. If you have Uranus retrograde in your natal chart, you may be getting the call from within to come out, actualize these things. So whichever direction you're going in or out, if there has been this energy where you're like, you know what, I don't care, I'm gonna do it my way, it's really been this, it's like the revolution, it's been the rebellion, whatever that has been for you. If it has been not structured well, or if it's just been running at rebellion, there is this sense when Uranus goes retrograde that you have to go back in and kind of clean things up. It's like you become aware that you're like, wait a minute, I was running on rebellion over here. And I need to look at that. I need to, rise above, come to my higher being, to connect with a higher power and get clear on if what I have done, what I have been doing since last May is what I really want in my life. And also, if it is what I want in my life, what do I need to do to make sure that I can maintain it? So this is one thing, and that can be a little bit challenging. Now it is Uranus retrograde, and everybody and their sister is retrograde. Mercury's retrograde, Venus is retrograde, Saturn's retrograde, Pluto's retrograde, Uranus is retrograde now. So the team is retrograde. So there is just also this symbolism of the past is running in, the past is running in, the past is running in, and it is to get us to take a look at, from a higher perspective, from an innovative perspective, at what was going on in our past, right? And are we free from it? Because I don't know, share with me please in the comment section, below this video, have you had these experiences where you go through, a season of your life and you get to the other side and you're like, oh, I made it, I did good, thank God that's over, right? And you think that that's the end. And it's not just that you think it. There is this belief that it's like, okay, that's the end, I'm done. This particular season with this heavy retrograde influence can bring that particular person, place, or thing back up, because while it was dormant, doesn't mean you were actually free from it. And we're looking for freedom when we're dealing with Uranus, right? So the way that the retrograde helps us, the pros of it, is that in that internal work, it goes, okay, I have got to shift in here. I've done good. Maybe I've even set the stage out here, but now I have to shift in here internally to keep the external flow and freedom going in my life. So please let me know in the comment section down below. You know, have you been there? Have you experienced that where you're like, listen, I'm so over that. I'm done with that. I've already lived through that. And then a retrograde comes up and you're like, this is back. This can be that, but you have higher awareness of yourself at this time, and you get to make a decision that's maybe different than you made last time. And this is the real beauty. I also love how hard Venus has been working for us, with us, on us, through us during this retrograde, because there's also a different level of value. What you value, who you value, how you value yourself, the way you are boldly willing to express what you value and only have those things in your life. This all feeds into the story of this particular Uranus retrograde as well. Now, I got all excited, so I can't actually remember if I said it, but the Uranus is going retrograde here on the 28th at 23 degrees of Taurus, okay? So locate the 23 degrees of Taurus in your chart. If you don't have a chart, please click down below, come see me, come get one, or go to astro.com, get a free one, whatever you like, okay? But we're going to also see it come out of retrograde January 27th at 19 degrees of Taurus. So I like the big picture of the retrograde cycle. I feel like that's a lot more informative to me. So I really would like to have us back up to May 12th of 2023 when we saw Uranus hit 19 degrees of Taurus. So if you've got a sun, moon, rising, Chiron, and angle in your chart, this has primo impact on you for sure, okay? So back in May of this year, May 12th, what was going on? Where did you start to have this tingle of, hold on, I'm not free. In some way, something's happening for me inside and I need to create freedom here. This is stopping me from having freedom and I'm going to go towards it. And it might not have been as loud yet, but now as we're here at the retrograde, this is where you're going to get to see what decisions you made. You're going to get to go back to some things and be able to clean that up. Then we'll see Uranus come direct on January 27th, but it will leave the entire retrograde cycle again on May 12th of 2024. I share the full cycle because it's sometimes I feel like in astrology we can have this idea that it's like, oh good, that's only going retrograde for 3 weeks. Thank God I can survive it for 3 weeks. And we kind of do this, I like to call it the hanging in there astrology living, right? Where it's like, I'll just hang on. You remember the little poster of the kitty hanging by the wire, the little rope, and it was like, just hang in there. And the little kitty was so cute, right? The little red one. And it was like, just hang in there. And hanging in there sometimes sucks. I don't want you to have hanging in there astrology. I'd like us to open these seasons and open the perspective of how long these actually last so you can see what you're really working with. So that in 3 weeks, when you're not feeling like this is my best life, I've made it to the other side, or you've done the external processing, but your insides are still healing, I want you to know you have a full cycle to work this out. The outer planets move very, very slowly because these shifts and adjustments typically take us more time, because one of two things is typically happening here. We are running at something off of the energy and the instinct that's happened, and then we have to slow down and like have a regroup, and we have to have a think, as my friends in London say. I have to have a think about it and come through my higher self and say, okay, with the decisions I've made, are they in alignment, right? Or we're sitting and we're trying to get in alignment here, but we haven't actualized anything in action. So we're usually in one or two camps. So this is an opportunity for you to look at the full cycle of what's changing for you and then assess where you're still looking at, where you're still working on your freedom in that particular area. So hopefully that makes a little bit of sense, okay? When we get to, yes, and happy Monday already if you're in Australia, okay? So when we get into the Tuesday time frame, the moon is still traveling through that energy of Aquarius. Again, remember the ruling planet of Aquarius is now retrograde. So one of the things that I don't often pay a ton of attention to is the fact that the ruling planet of this particular moon cycle is making some connection in its retrograde, and I think it's telltale to help us out here on Tuesday. Because when Uranus goes retrograde this time for the 2023 cycle, it's going to go retrograde in a really nice trine conversation to Mercury. And I do think that that is important for us to consider, because this is not a week where I think you're getting everything done and things are moving quickly. We're in too much retrograde. But this trine to Mercury over in Virgo is a real nice place for you to rethink, recreate, be flexible, be adaptable. But more than anything, I think it is a great place for you to trust your intuition about what's happening in your life and in your world. If you're feeling, if you go to bed and you get up and you're like, oh, I don't know, I just feel like I need to just call my mom, or I don't know, I feel like I should just walk past that store over there and see what's in it, or whatever the sparking intuition is, I would encourage you, follow it. It doesn't mean to run off to the chapel and get married, but maybe just walk by the chapel and see what they have in there. It's this really kind of let the intuition spark you, because you do have new creative ideas, or you have access to new creative ideas on absolutely old situations that you have a new opportunity to create some freedom from. And I think this is important because it also is the indicator that there's an amazing amount of emotional freedom available to you. It's freedom from the past, not regretting the past, not looking back and going, I wish I had, did I, any of these things, but having it sorted. So I think that this offers a brilliant opportunity to experience that. Okay, now as we're going to get into Wednesday, we're going to see a little bit of void of course energy later in the night Tuesday till early in the morning here on Wednesday, and then the moon will move into Pisces. But then we're going to have this big, gorgeous, beautiful full moon happening at 7 degrees of Pisces. So again, you're locating 7 degrees of Pisces in your particular chart, whether it is your natal chart, your progressed chart, your solar return chart, your lunar return chart, whatever it is that you're looking at. We want to find the 7 degrees of Pisces. And I think it's also quite useful to look at what's happening at 7 degrees of Virgo, because that's where the sun is at. So at the full moon, sun and the moon are pulling, they are opposing, they're right across from each other, so they're going in two different directions. So this highlights for us my needs versus my wants, our own polarities. I could do this or I could do this. So the energy is innately unstable, right? Because we're going, it's like this little dance situation. Now, the best way to use an opposition like that to decrease the instability is to try to find the sweet spot in the middle. Where is the Pisces side of you correct, and also where is the Virgo side of you correct, and where can they inch towards each other and create an integration instead of a pulling opposition separation? So where can there be integration? Now at the full moon, the way typically to achieve some of the integration, or a way to think about it, is I got to end something, acknowledge something, or make an adjustment in order to create this integration. You know what I mean? So this is an energy you may really, really be feeling the pull of that particular experience. Okay, now other things to think about at this particular full moon, it is in the energy of Pisces. So letting go of the past, letting things transform, transmit, transcend, culminate. This is a culminating energy. Taking something from pure, I need to be in action, to a state of I can have some faith. I can have some trust in the universe that things are going to work out, right? That Virgo side is like, I'll do it. I've got the plan. I know what's up. I'm over here doing, earth energy. And Pisces is on the other side with the childlike faith. So we need both of these two at that 7 degrees of Pisces to come together. There's got to be, you're in charge of the footwork and let the universe do the heavy lifting. Where's this space, maybe even in your own life, that you're experiencing from the inside out, where you're somewhere between service and servitude, and we're trying to inch our way back in to something really very useful in the middle. The other question that I have to pose for you at this particular full moon, because this moon is conjunct Saturn, so it does have, again, Saturn retrograde, a feel of what was going on in the past. But being conjunct Saturn, When you go back to March of 2023 in your chart and Saturn first entered the energy of Pisces and began to travel this first 7 degrees, what happened in your life? What came up or what was coming around for you that it was like, no, we have to stop dreaming about that, talking about that. Don't create another vision board poster. Please stop manifesting in your underwear in the living room. You have to be about it now. Stop thinking, feeling, be about it. What was starting to take some form from your dream, your vision, your ideals that you were starting to see, I need to crystallize this, or I'm getting more help, because Saturn is not just, it's not that kind of energy, but it started to help you crystallize. And in the crystallization, I think at this particular full moon, Saturn is kind of giving us the understanding that the only way to develop and have this thing crystallize is that we do have to develop some discipline. And discipline always means I have to say no to something in order to say yes to something. And vice versa, I have to say yes to something, and that means I have to say no to something else. So at this particular full moon, we've got this heavy retrograde energy coming in, something from the past, the vision and action and ideas, something we were moving us forward. And now this full moon's happening, and over this next 4 weeks, we've got to go, what am I saying yes to so that I can say no to something else? Where am I stopping just talking about it, feeling about it, visioning about it? And now I'm going to step in and really be about it and let this vision and this experience crystallize. So you've got a mixed bag of some help here. And I also think about this too, because I have Pisces at the descendant. I'm a Virgo rising and I have Pisces at the descendant. So for me, oftentimes where the change of have to be about it shows up is in contracts and negotiations, or in my conscious chosen one-on-one relationships. And sometimes what happens for me, and please let me know down below if you can relate to this, is that I walk into the wall sometime of another person where my Virgo ascendant thought I was really being helpful because, I know what's best for everybody. My spiritual teacher disagrees, by the way. I disagree, by the way. But I'm trying to be helpful, and then I walk into the mirror of another person and I have to just see them as perfect as they are. And so I'm met in this interesting space of action and service, inching into the axis of also compassion. Just compassion and love, and realizing that all I need to do in any given situation and moment is love a person, place, or thing exactly where they are, as they are in that moment, no changes to them, and then I have been of service. And this can sometimes be a scary idea. I've definitely been there where I'm like, yeah, but if this person doesn't make these changes, then we can't fill in the blank. Right? And sometimes that's just the answer, is absolutely. If that person does not make those changes, then no, you cannot do a certain thing together. But also, if that person doesn't make those changes so that you can do the thing together, you are free to go make decisions that you would like to pursue, and or you're going to have to learn to compromise. Does this make sense? I hope this makes sense a little bit. My example is, I feel like I vague posted there a little bit, but but that's this axis where it can be a little bit scary to let go of what I think is the plan and let a little bit of faith and just compassion and acceptance unfold. And that too, I think, speaks very much so of this Moon-Saturn conjunction, because it's like, listen, if I know exactly what the whole rest of my life is going to be and going to look like, I'm about to sell myself really short. And so somewhere in there, I have to face the fear of letting go of the plan and bringing in a little bit of action meets some faith. Okay, I've beat the moon to death. Hopefully that resonates and makes a little bit of sense over there. So these are going to be the two biggest events that we've got going, driving us this week, because when we get to Thursday, we're still going to be on that Pisces moon energy. Friday is going to lead us into some void, of course, and then we will end up seeing the moon move into the energy of Aries. So again, once a month check in to go, okay, Where do I need to initiate? Where do I need to initiate something with me? Where do I need to, make an adjustment in where or how I'm going? Again, it's another adjustment energy. And one of the things I think about with the moon in Aries is how fast we can get inflammation, whether it's inflammation in our lives, it's the moon inflammation in our emotions, our people. The moon in mundane astrology governs people. Are the people around me inflamed, and I need to know how to navigate that? Do I feel like I don't have any fire going, because we are composed of all four elements, right? Do I feel like my personal fire is out and I need to get some inflammation going? You know what I mean? Like, don't go have a cheesecake or anything. That always gives me inflammation, but it is delicious. So whatever you need to do to spice up your personal fire, or course correct, this moon in Aries would be a phenomenal energy to be able to do that. Now that's going to carry us through all the way to Sunday, where we will have another moon that is in void of course period before we end Sunday with the moon in the energy of Taurus. It's been a week, friends. It's been a week. It's not been good. It's not been bad. It's been a week. Hopefully we've been able to see things. I'm hoping you're going to check in with me in the comment section down below what is revealed to you. But then as we come home into the earthy moon, where the moon is exalted in Taurus, we reground, we plant our seeds of energy, we surround ourselves with the creature comforts that we love, we remember our own strength. We remember and call to our attention our ability to persevere and be consistent. I also think that from a body perspective, because Uranus is in Taurus, Jupiter's in Taurus, it's been a lot going on in Taurus energies. When the moon is in Taurus, if you're doing, like, if you go to the gym, or if you do whatever, something physical, bringing more weight or weighted things into your routine at this particular time can be really very useful. Taurus is a strong energy. It is enduring. It is the lifting energy. So you can definitely bring some of that in. I can tell you that as a Taurus, and I just got done putting all this stuff in my new house, and my house smells absolutely of vanilla and roses and amber. So also, if these are scents that uplift you, or the ruling planet of Venus is still retrograde at this particular time, what uplifts you? What brings you some excitement? What is making you go, wow, hold on, I need to have that in my life. That makes me feel wonderful and beautiful and grounded. I think that's a phenomenal energy to be thinking about, considering, and to be working with. Now, we're also going to see that ruling planet that has been retrograde is going to come out of retrograde. Ta-da! We've been waiting for this. We've been waiting for this. September 3rd brings this beautiful Venus out of retrograde in the energy of Leo. And I don't know about you guys, but it has been a real revealing cycle for me. Now, we watched this retrograde happen between 12 and 28 degrees. We've been in this vibration of the retrograde cycle from June 19th, and we will be here. It's not officially done and out of the window until we get to October 7th. So it has been a time of review of values, review of what I value, how I value myself, review of 2015, right? Where did you have a heartbreak then? Or you went back and maybe something you stomped out your own fire, your own passion, your own self-expression. What was going on for you in 2015 that this cycle has also helped you to review. I can tell you that this cycle for me, even as we're going to be bringing it to a close, I've developed a new course that you guys will be presented with as we get past October 7th, about using Venus to heal this pelvic floor, this sacred bowl, all of these connections and lack of worth energies that we've got stored up in there, which end up causing menstrual, sexual, emotional problems. That's what came, a big piece of what came out of the Venus retrograde for me. And I can see the value of it as we continue to grow and repeat these patterns. So let me know what has presented itself to you in the comment section down below. I can tell you I value money. I value time. I value people in my life very, very differently. And I can see the symptoms of that tie back to 2015 as well. So lots of healing done in the cycle. So whatever your particular patterns of value have been, wherever maybe you feel like you fell short in 2015 because you were doing the best that you can, now you can see it. Forgive yourself for doing the best that you could back then, but also get in place some new attitudes and actions of how you'd like to proceed forward. So if you really think about it, I present you with the cosmos this week in their translation and interpretation of giving you just an absolute cosmic conspiracy to step back into decisions in your life, get really good, really clear with them, pave your way to freedom by acknowledging who you were, what you were, who you are, how you are, and moving towards freedom. That's really freaking awesome. All right. It also doesn't mean it'll be really easy. It will be as it will be for you. But I do support you. I'm here. All right, my absolutely beautiful astrology friends. I look forward to seeing each of you next month. If you haven't already watched your September monthly videos, please check it out per your sign. Yeah, Venus retrograde has also brought a new aesthetic. You're going to see a little bit of change in how the videos are presented. It's also Virgo season, and I'm a Virgo rising, so let me tell you, when it's about getting pretty pictures and an efficient, organized aesthetic, you guys will see that, and hopefully the whole tribe will welcome it as we get tidied up over here and as I get settled in to my new home in Spain. I love each of you all over the world, wherever you are at. Thank you for spending a little bit of time with me. Make sure you check out more videos. If you're a new astrology learner, there are free videos in the YouTube Astrology Academy playlist. Please check it out. We're starting from the ground of astrology, moving all the way up through the basic concepts, and it's for free. Right here, taught by a group of teachers from around the world who are masters at their craft. So if you're looking to learn, you want to have the translation, you want to be fluent in the language of astrology, start down there, enjoy the playlist, and I'll definitely see you next week. Bye, everybody.